All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode. Not the unapologetically black, the Blacspiration podcast. God damn it, I can't even remember my own rebrand. Welcome to the Blacspiration podcast, where we are inspiring Black listeners one episode at a time. I am your host, the infamous Hood Rat with the Heart of Gold himself, your third favorite Washington. Yes, the Twitter gremlin himself, Cortez Washington, and I am so happy to be here. And today we're going to be talking about adulting. We're going to start this as a nice little series to get some stories from folks about how adulting sucks and what are some of the shit that we came across. And I couldn't do this, of course, without somebody else's viewpoint on it. So I've brung one of my favorite people. You know him, you love him, from Second Wind. You also might catch him doing other things on Twitch. Please show some love for Casey Nwosu.
Hey, what's up, Cortez?
Yeah.
It's been a minute since we got to hang out and talk. As you know, I did a podcast a little while ago myself that I had to kind of put on the shelf because of stuff like this topic that you brought me on for, like adulting. Like life kind of gets in the way of all these projects and whatnot. So I'm really happy to be back to talk to you again, and let's get into it.
Absolutely. Hopefully they didn't see the logo of that ginger beer because I'm not sponsored by them. But
not yet.
Not yet.
You gotta put that into the universe.
You hear that, Gosling? All right. So before we dive deep into the main topic of today, I just gotta ask, what have you been playing, man? What have you had in the rotation?
So I weirdly just came off of a small forced vacation. My older brother just turned 40, and so he threw a big birthday party. He lives out in California, so a lot of my family took the time to go see him and celebrate his birthday. So with that came a couple of days where I just didn't have anything to do. So I was able to get through Animal Well, which I liked a lot.
Nice.
I was able to I'm sorry. I was able to start finally playing Dragon's Dogma 2, which was a little rocky at first, but I'm getting into the swing of it, and I'm liking it a lot more than I was. And a game that I've been anticipating for a really, really long time, indie joint called Nine Souls, dropped not that long ago.
Okay.
And I'm playing it now because I intend to review it, but I'm having an amazing time with that. It's a 2D hand drawn looking Metroidvania. It has really tough combat. It's Souls like ish. It's a Metroidvania. It's closer to maybe Hollow Knight than anything in the actual Souls series. But it borrows some combat language from Sekiro, which is probably, in my opinion, the best combat ever put into a video game. I just think it's perfect in terms of combat, and it's borrowing some stuff from that. And I really like what it's doing. It's got a cool world. It's got cool art. And it feels really fun to jump around and fight stuff in that world. And it's giving me a hard time right now because I really want to get it done to review it, but it's a game that challenges you, and there's a lot of it. So it's gonna take me some time, I guess.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I've never heard of that game, and now I'm gonna add it to my
check it out.
wish list. I'm gonna make sure that I have it. I'm gonna put it somewhere because I don't want to miss this. This shit looks nice. Next time I get paid, I'll definitely have to get it. But speaking of that, yeah, man. Oh man, I actually had to stop playing Hollow Knight because I got to one part. Oh, I was fighting the what's the woman's name? The one with the long. She has the needle that she can throw and travel
to. She's the star of the next one, Hornet.
Yeah, I'm on my second fight with her, and I just keep getting my ass kicked. But I never know when I'm close. That's one thing I don't like about. Well, I guess that's one thing that's interesting about those type of games. Is you have to figure out how close you are in their health. If they're on the second phase or third phase, you're okay, I'm doing a good job without a health bar.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you mention it, none of the bosses in Hollow Knight have visible health bars. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think all the enemies don't really. So
yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, one of the enemies in that game that I think gave me the most trouble was the I think he was a wizard dude. He would teleport all over the place. And, he would send the orbs that would chase you, and then he would teleport and slam into the ground. Teleport, slam into the ground. Do you remember that dude?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm there yet.
I mean, if you're on the second Hornet fight,
then I must have fought him.
I think you would have fought him, but maybe not because I guess you can do that game in all sorts of orders. Now I'm thinking about it, so maybe not. But,
yeah,
that guy was tough. And now that it took me forever to beat him, and it got to the point where like, yes, I finally beat him, and then the second phase started. And it was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's I gotta hop back into that when I have enough patience again. So
No, that was one I had to take a break with and then come back to later.
Yeah, super fun. So if that uh lines up with that, and then Sekiro, like I love like games where like deflection and parrying is like the most important part.
Yep.
So if that's like that, then yeah, I'm definitely looking at that.
Yeah, you'll dig it for sure then.
Yeah, man, my what I've been playing is pretty boring. I've been still playing some X Defiant.
I mean that's I haven't gotten a chance to actually play it since it launched. Like I got hands on when it was still in beta, and then some internal testing. I was able to play some. I really like where that game got to based on where it started, because it wasn't feeling great in those early alphas, but now it actually feels like a really fun arcadey shooter. So I'm glad that it's out and people seem to be digging it.
Yeah, that was the first like my first time playing it was when it was fully released. Well, now whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. I do got some shit to say. I wish I can get them folks on the phone, because the sniper rifle is OP, and so is the ACR OP. But it feels like OG, like Call of Duty. Like it finally, like
right. I think
like,
that is exactly what they were going for too.
I was like, damn. Finally, like somebody got this. Like Call it, and it also isn't 175 gigs. So like it's like 20
there's that.
Shit.
That is a plus for sure.
Yeah, but been playing that. I've been playing Far Cry 6, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Far Cry 6 makes me miss Dying Light because of the traversal isn't as smooth as like
like the parkour,
Yeah.
first person parkour stuff. Okay.
Yeah. The cool thing I do like about it is the sliding. Like you can just slide down the hill. Like that's pretty cool. I love that.
Yes. When games let you like run and just slide like with momentum, that is very fun. Like that and double jumping are probably that, and an air dash and a parry. You know what? I just give me mechanics. Just give me all the mechanics. I think that's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah. All the mechanics are dope. So, in our journey to play games and have a good time, we have to do adulting in between those times. And so
Yep.
Talk about our main topic is like adulting, the exhausting journey of being an adult, and just having the responsibilities and the expectations that comes with being a self-sustaining individual. So we're gonna start off with some heavy hitting questions, like
okay.
We've been doing this for a while. I figure we're doing this for a while. Beard to beard, we've been doing this for a while. So I figure, just want to ask you, like, just off rip, like, what was your first feeling when, like, what was that first feeling when you were like, oh, this adult shit is different? Like this, like living on my own, like having responsibilities is very different than what I thought it was.
That's a really good question, and it's something that I've honestly thought about for a long time, because weirdly enough, and I don't know if this is the same for like a lot of people in our generation, but it took a very long time for me to feel like I was an adult. Like it always felt like I was doing, because I started like working pretty early. Like I was a teenager. Like me and my friends like walked around like all the downtown department stores, like asking for like, summer jobs and stuff, because we wanted money to like buy dumb stuff and video games back then, so like so like I started working like as early as like 17, like as soon as I could. And so like I kind of always had a job while I was doing everything else I was doing. So like I never really felt like I had made it and I was like different than I was as a kid. I guess not until I had my son. And even then it was a little iffy. Like I felt like I was 26 when I had my son, but I still felt like a kid having a kid. Like me and my son's mother weren't married or anything. And I come from a Nigerian family, very traditional, conservative in some of their viewpoints. So my parents treated it like I was a teenager. Like I'm a 26-year-old man. I have a full-time job. Yes, I got this girl pregnant and she wants to keep it. So I'm going to have a son soon. And they treated it like, like, what are we going to do? Are we going to have to take care of this baby? It's like, no, I live in my own apartment. Like I'll take care of the baby. But like, yeah, it was in having to kind of turn over all of that agency
Mm-hmm.
Of me kind of dictating and deciding what I wanted to do at any given time based on my whims to my son, like kind of just putting it over onto him, being like, all right, well, I need to dictate what I do based on like what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so it wasn't like an immediate thing, but it was pretty gentle ramp, I would say, from like him being born and then like him growing up to finally feeling like, all right, I am the adult here. Like, this is my child. Like, this is the kid. Like, this is the next generation. So I need to accept that role as like an old man. Like, now I'm the old one. Like, I've come to that realization finally. If I can just add to the tail end of that, when I saw the second Spider-Verse movie, Across the Spider-Verse, I think it's called, right?
Yeah.
That solidified it. Like, that's pretty recent when that came out. But I watched that movie with my son, of course, because he's a big Miles Morales fan. And when I found myself just fully, what's the word? Like vibing, like I was just seeing everything from perspective of not Miles and what he was going through, but from his parents' perspective, like the stuff that they were like nagging him about, the worries that they had about his well-being, like all of their concerns, like hit me so much more directly than what he was doing. Like I would look like what Miles was doing in my head. I'd be like, why don't you just do, like, your parents are trying their best. Like, why don't you just give them a little, like, it wasn't until that movie was over that I was like, yo, I'm really the adult now. Like, cause like any other superhero movie, right? Like, especially one where like there's a young black protagonist, like I'm sure you feel the same. Like you would see yourself in that role. You'd be like, oh, this is a representation of me as the main character in my story. And like, no, I don't feel that way anymore. Like, especially like having a son, like, no, like he's the main character. Like I am supporting him. Like my time, like, or at least I won't say my time has ended. Like I'm still here. I'm still doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But like things have shifted. Like this, like that definitely feels like another stage, another step.
Yeah. I feel like when it's, because that really sounds like it just like that pivot of like the thought process behind it all, which is like, what are the pros and cons? Like really weighing it and really being like, okay, I can do this, but I'm taking it away from something. Like really like I'm taking this away from something. Like there isn't no just clear cut, like, oh, we're good. Like, yes, that comes around like, oh yeah, I'm good. I could do this. I'm doing that. But a lot of decisions as far as like, just like you said, like working or just responsibilities or providing needs for yourself and for someone else, like you change that perspective on life and really have that. It's like the mentality shift, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's scary too, because when you talking about Across the Spider-Verse, I was thinking of Into the Spider-Verse when like he went to his uncle's apartment, and I was like, I would rather be Aaron than his dad. Like I don't like I'll be working for Kingpin, you know what I'm saying? I'm the Prowler. People scared of me. Like they don't even know who I am. So that's the best part. But also like that's interesting hearing you like watching a movie and being like, that's stupid. You know, like why would you do that? Like just use your words, boy. Like
just listen to your parents. Like what is going on? What's the problem? They're telling you what you need to do.
Yeah, that's so. I was expecting something like, oh, and I got that first bill. I was like, fuck, man, let me get on with it. Nah, it was childbirth and being a parent, and then also looking at a movie and saying the protagonist is stupid. He said, this is all your fault.
Yeah, man, it was really eye opening.
Yeah, I would have to say for me, I think the first step into adulthood, or like being like, oh, this shit's different, was when I had to move away from home, honestly.
Okay.
To be like, oh, this is like I'm adulting. Like even though I'm young, I'm still being perceived as, especially as a young black dude, you're still being perceived as somebody that's fully responsible for all their decision making and all the things that they do. You know, which is kind of messed up to put on young 20-somethings shoulders to be like,
it's not like the age of 18 being a legal adult does not make any sense, because like 18-year-olds and just generally people of that age range don't know nothing about nothing, honestly.
Nothing about nothing. And just because they look like they was 40 years old when they was 18 in the 70s, don't mean that we gotta suffer the same shit.
Yo, they really did look old back then. Like, how did that happen? Like, what was going on?
Yeah. But yeah, moving away from home and being out of my like safe, like it wasn't necessarily a safety net because I already been away and like had my own, like had roommates and whatnot. But like being away that was like thousands of miles away, and having to be like, I got to make something shake and make some shake by. I got to pay my bills. I got to make sure I got gas. I got to make sure I got food. I got to make sure that me and my girlfriend, we're still together now, we were like, I was contributing to what I need to contribute to. Like, we made an agreement, and the things that I was going to live up to, okay, I got to make that happen. I got to put these things in motion. And then even leaving college, it was hard too, because it was like, okay, now I got to line myself up with opportunities. What's going on this way? What's going on that way? What jobs are here? What jobs are there? Like, and really like being put out there and putting yourself out there to really feel, because I was always a person that was involved like service, like doing service work. Or so like whether it was working at like a restaurant or a coffee shop, but also working in the community, you know, like I always felt like it was a servant duty. And so that really opened my eyes to like, damn, I gotta carry myself different, because some of the folks I'm seeing or I'm working with, they didn't have access to the opportunities that I had access to, which sucks. But I gotta take the right steps, because then I have to be able to pass this knowledge off to someone else.
Right. It's the weight of the opportunities that you were afforded is like you don't want that to be a waste.
Yeah. Because it's easy, because I see a bunch of people who are 40s, 50s, 60s, just still like in the same cycle in their head. And it's like, oh dog, couldn't be me. And that's weird. You're like, oh, couldn't be me. Yeah.
That's that maturity. Like you can see where you've been, and you can recognize it in other people who haven't kind of left that space yet.
Yeah.
So like that makes sense.
Yeah. And so like what were some of the things that like had affected you on this journey as far as like careers and like developing a career path and setting yourself on a certain trajectory through that path as well? Like, what are some obstacles that you came into with that?
Well, yeah, it like most people, like the workforce, like that grind of just trying to make ends meet was always like a big motivator. And I graduated college at like probably one of the most unfortunate times to do so, like right when that housing market crash happened, and like just the economy was just on the back foot, like, and nobody with a degree, which is what they begged all us high school kids, go to college, get at least a bachelor's, and then you can join the workforce. Like if you just have a high school diploma, it's not going to do nothing for you, never, nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like that, just beating that drum over and over. It's like, all right, got into college, managed to get out of school in 5 years rather than 4 that they claim, and just there were no jobs waiting for me. Like, especially not in the field that I had studied for, which was like journalism and media and whatnot. And also came from like not a great high school. Like I went to high school in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Right? And I also went to a technical school. So like half of the curriculum was essentially training students for like trade jobs, which is a good thing. Like that's a great skill, because trade work is, you know, very lucrative. It'll set you on a path to like,
absolutely,
you know, be a successful person. But I was never personally interested in trade work, and that was never going to be like a path for me as far as I was concerned. So it was kind of nonsensical that I went there, and I went there for stupid reasons, because we had moved from like my childhood neighborhood where I had like a ton of friends in elementary school that I grew up with all the way to middle school. Like we were like super close. Like we're still super tight today. Like those same friends that I met all the way back then. But they were going to high school in that neighborhood's high school. And the high school in where I moved to would have been dumb far away. And so to get around that, the technical school had different borders in terms of like districts. So like, I could live where we moved and then just take the bus to that technical high school and still I was like much closer. Like I could bus to my friends like in their neighborhood, in their high school, like after school. So like that was a concession that was made. And I don't regret it.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a like career wise, especially since I kind of ended up where I wanted to be eventually.
Yeah.
Like career wise, I don't regret it, but it was a dumb kid decision. Like I just wanted to be as close to my friends as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that high school experience, like I went to college and did not know what I should have been doing for the most of that time. And then though I graduated with the degree that I wanted, like it wasn't until the very end that I was able to focus in on kind of what my passion was. My passion was always video games, but like how I was going to turn that into a career that I could use as a marketable skill didn't really come into fruition until like the back half of my college career. So like that's when I started focusing in on like writing and journalism and like just like studying media and the means of communication, because at the basis, that's what video games are. It's another medium to tell stories in. So, but by the time I'd finished doing that, I had learned that I should have also been honing my skills of writing, honing my skills of video editing, honing my skills of all these other things, because that was what was becoming popular and attractive to publications and stuff in that field. So I went to work where I could. I was doing a lot of customer service nonsense, like because a hookup from a friend. Like I was working in a call center for like satellite TV, like a real shisty, like sketchy ass place who was selling apartment buildings, like one big ass satellite dish and like a million cable boxes.
Oh no!
So you're essentially splitting your satellite signal between everybody in the building.
Oh no!
And so it was just garbage service. We were always sending repair people out to fix stuff. Like nothing ever worked. So we were always inundated with just angry people calling us all the time. It was a super stressful situation. So like that was what I was spending my time doing. And that led to me doing more customer service work as I got more experience. And like I ended up at a halfway decent job because I did have a bachelor's at Verizon Wireless. And like they were paying me well. I was getting comfortable. I was just doing what they needed me to do. And like I was like that whole time I was still trying to on my own build up like these sorts of communication skills. Like I was still playing a lot of video games and I was writing about video games. I was trying to produce like podcasts and media and stuff about video games. I was trying to learn video editing, but I was doing it as a hobby on the side. And it wasn't until Verizon laid me off and I couldn't find any work after that like in order to stay sane, all I had was that stuff on the side. And that became the main stuff after a while. And then that gave me enough stuff on a resume, which I should have been working on straight out of college. I had to like, there was no one really to guide me and tell me like, hey, this is your path to get where you want to go. If you're studying this. Like I eventually got that kind of backlog of content and skills and a portfolio and was able to shop that around to certain people. And then that's how I finally ended up getting, a position at like a games publication doing reviews. And then like through, a bunch of dedication, bunch of work, a lot of luck, wound up at Escapist. Escapist had their whole thing, wound up at Second Wind. And now I'm even leveraging all of that. My media experience is there. I was able to apply to a community manager position and get a job at Ubisoft proper. So like I'm working within the games industry and working within the video games press industry at the same time. Like it's the best of both worlds as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So like I'm super thankful for the opportunities that I've been afforded. But like it was a long road to get here, and it was, and even then like it was somewhere that if it was going to happen, I thought it would have happened a lot sooner than it did. So like I'm very fortunate that I was still in a position based on circumstances. Like it wasn't even me who chose it. You know what I mean? Like if Verizon hadn't laid me off, I might still be working there today. Like maybe higher position, maybe decent money. Cause like I know I struggled money wise as well along this path, even though I was doing something that I liked. But like I would not have been here, and this is where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Wow, man. And it's always interesting hearing the portion of both ends of like both huge not necessarily trajectory points, but more like when you hit like that fork in the road, or not fork, like maybe 7 ways, was high school, because of what high school had going. I can definitely relate to the pain points you had reached with the high school of like not being prepared. Granted though,
Yeah,
man, if your high school was like my high school, the people that got the most support were the people that already have been deemed smart since the beginning
yeah,
of since the
yeah. There's a lot of
first
that. Yeah.
since freshman year, the people that were deemed smart were just the smart or smart quote unquote, which it was
Mhm.
just like, test taking, etc. Which that doesn't take away from the capabilities. They were smart, but like everybody else that wasn't smart or bad as hell just flew, just like went through the motions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was definitely a lot of that. Like I was in that boat. Like
mm,
I was labeled as a smart kid, so
mm,
like I had those opportunities where people would pay attention to what I was doing, but that stopped after a certain point. Like
yeah,
when I got to high school, and the goal of that high school was to turn pretty much all these students into like trade based labor force.
yeah.
It didn't matter how good I was at writing. Like, what
Oh,
do you need that for? Go like
yeah,
go learn how to plumb. Go learn how to change a carburetor, like
yeah.
stuff like that. So like I kind of checked out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and that came back to bite me because like there wasn't anything there there wasn't anything there to prepare me for what I needed to do once I got to college. And
Uh-huh.
though I made it to college, I had to learn on my own, and it took forever. And by the time I was done, I did not have what I needed. So at that
Yeah,
point, I thought I had failed, really.
yeah,
But luckily, I kept at it.
yeah. That's good, man. And the like stumbling through the college, it sounds like you were stumbling through college, and then at one point you
Yeah,
stumbled across the finish line, and they gave you a medal, and you was like, "Wait, what?"
a little bit, a little bit.
but but that doesn't take away from your like it. One thing that I keep hearing is like perseverance. You persevered through high school, through college, and even after being laid off, like you were persevered of like putting your all into writing, journalism, editing, video editing, podcasting, like getting within the industry that you wanted to get in, that that you had strengths in, and that where your passions. You really put that best foot forward to make sure that happened, which is so dope to hear. Because a lot of times you can feel like, as somebody who's been laid off a couple times, I don't want to just say
Mm.
multiple because then it sounds like I've been laid off like 10 times, but a couple times, I could definitely understand like that feeling of like, just like, damn, I guess I got like I'm
Yeah,
on
like
a
it sucks. Like it
yeah,
sucks. It feels like you did everything you were supposed to do, right? Like it
yeah,
feels so unfair. Like, and
hmm
it's demoralizing to kind of get hit with something like that. Like when you're fired, most times when you're fired, you could be like, all right, well, I effed up. There was something I did that
hmm
explains that. But like when like the situation around you, like the world, the economy, the
hmm
when that is the reason why you might be out on the street or something, or like have to move back in with your parents or
hmm
whatever, like that just feels like, well, I was doing everything I was supposed to do. Like what else is there? Like what else can I do to
yeah,
make this work? Like it feels like everything is against you.
yeah. The unpredictability of life is can be terrifying because it does do that. And
Yeah.
it does, and you'll never know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm surprised it's 2024 because all I remember is 2020 shutdown and then lockdown and then now. So it's like it was
Yeah, it's
really,
kind of a haze. Yeah.
yeah, because that point in time, like I feel like people are trying to move forward from that perspective of life
Hmm.
to like, all right, let's get back to getting things back together, and it's like shit ain't the same no more. Like you gotta understand that. Yes, we can keep going. Like I'm fine with going to the movies, going out to eat, all that shit. Like that shit
Hmm.
cool. But don't think that like we just gonna forget about that shit. That happened. Like
Yeah, it definitely ushered in some change.
mm,
Like I work fully remote, and that would not have been the case
hmm
if the pandemic didn't force companies to make that work for the majority
yeah,
of their workforce, right?
yeah,
So, and that's a good thing because of that, I was able to get that second job, because I was doing the one job which was not paying all the bills I need to pay,
mm,
but being able to get that second job really closed that gap for
yeah.
me personally, and that I just wouldn't be able to do that if I had to like move somewhere.
Yeah, had to pick up and move, which
Yeah.
some companies are doing now too, or like saying like, "Hey, we're not saying you're fired, or you quit, but you got to move.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and hearing that shit is shady. Like it stressed me out just hearing some stuff like that, because it does put a lot of it puts a lot of pressure on folks who, one, hadn't anticipated moving because they had been there for like maybe 2-3 years during the pandemic. Two, like people with disabilities, they got to figure out how to navigate a whole new city and a whole new space if they do move, and that's a totally different ball game.
Yeah, that's I haven't even considered that, but that's
Yeah.
probably a nightmare for them.
Yeah, and then 3 is like, are you paying for this move? Because what the fuck, you know, like that's actual. Like, okay, I'm gonna move. Like, I always wanted to say, like, I always wanted to move to California. You know, this is one of my dreams. So, are you helping me with that cost? And I'm not talking reimbursement, because reimbursement ain't shit when you think about it. Like, that's that. Let's get on that. Let's all right. Why do companies think reimbursement is okay? Like,
My best guess, I do not know, but my best guess is it's a method of making sure that the bill that they pay is the cost that it costs. Because if you have to spend your own money to do all the things and then wait to get that money back, you'll probably do the things you would do with your own money, as opposed to being like, all right, well, the company's paying for this. Let me get the most expensive movers. Let me get the most expensive, you know what I mean? Because and like, there's no way to check that because they said they'll pay for it. So like, you just so like, oh, well, I need this much in order to do what you're asking me to do, and then they just have to pay that. When they say, oh, we'll reimburse you, it's more like, we're gonna know what the bill is because you paying for everything.
Yeah, you paying for everything. We'll give it back to you on your next check. Not, oh, thanks for this. We'll give it right back to you. Like, I wish,
because you know they got it.
Yeah, they got it. If they reimbursing you and they give you like a limit, like, oh, you get up to like $5,000. Oh, so you got it. Okay. Like, yeah. So like, and I hear what you're saying, because that is a good way to like verifying like actual purchases and X, Y, and Z. But also, how come I don't deserve the best movers in town? You know?
You know what? Right. Why don't you deserve the best? These companies so greedy, man. Like, share the wealth.
Yeah, I would like I don't care. I want to pay $1,500 to have that really buff guy move my Goodwill couch. I don't care. Get in here and move it, dog. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna sleep on it. How about that? And y'all move it.
No, they're like, we're gonna charge you extra. Like, you know what? I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that.
It's on their tab.
I got wiggle room on my stipend, dog. We good. But just navigating like how to handle pitfalls and how to handle obstacles. Like, how do you prepare yourself for like realistic goal setting for like you as not only like Casey the person and the adult, but also like Casey the parent? Like, how do you find that like middle ground to goal setting for yourself?
I mean, again, really good question. And I don't know if I have like a straightforward answer to that. Because a lot of what I do doesn't make sense. If I'm being honest, it's like, yes, I will set goals. I will say, okay, I want to get to here, or I want to do this, or me and my fiance need to achieve this. For example, we're trying to plan a wedding right now, so like there's a lot of costs involved in that, and like there's a lot of bills that we still need to pay while we're also trying to put money aside to do this other thing. And it's like the only way we get to that is if we scrimp and save, and if we, ask our family for like help, because they're gonna, show up and do it. So like, I don't know how I'm gonna achieve these goals, but somewhere inside, I know I'm gonna get there. Like, I don't know how, but like I put it in my brain that like I will get there. Like, if I don't know right now, this second, I'll figure it out along the way. Like, just so if anything, I would say set the goal, right? Like that is the first step, and arguably probably the most important one. Like, just know for sure that this is a thing that you want to get to.
Yeah.
Keep that there. Like, don't waver on it. And when an opportunity presents itself, you will start to see the path light up. Like, you will start to see the dots that connect to reach in there. And maybe it won't be on the same timeline that you wanted. Maybe you'll, like, I'm not saying you have to compromise it per se, but like maybe it'll, like, maybe even with time, that same goal will end up looking a little different to you, and it'll still be what you needed once you get there. Yeah. So like that's the best I got in that regard. And honestly, like using the wedding planning for an example, like me and my fiance kind of brainstorming, like came up with the idea, like, hey, well, let's like I stream on my personal channel outside of all the other stuff that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think like an audience would be really fun and engaged with you and I playing games together, since as a couple,
Mm-hmm.
in a method of fundraising for that wedding. Like, so like if we can get
Yeah.
donations from the people who watch us stream, that might help. Like, and so far, like we've raised half of what the goal was that we set. And we've
That's
only been
dope.
doing this, I want to say, for like maybe 3-4 months
That's
now.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
That's
I'm
cool.
super shocked because like we still have over a year until like the big day comes down. So like I
Mm-hmm.
was super surprised by like the outpouring of like support in that regard. But like it's stuff like that. It's like, I mean, we know we have to get married and we have to like pay for this wedding, but like we didn't know how. But like this, here's one dot. Like this will absolutely help on that path to get there. So like as the next one makes itself known, then we'll go from there. Like, and I guess that's just how I've learned to operate.
Yeah. That's so interesting. It's like set that goal, have that like that end goal, and then the path in between is just murky and foggy. And you're just
Yeah,
like,
like you gotta pay attention. I would say
mm-hmm.
like you gotta just you have to look for those opportunities
Yeah.
to present themselves as that. Oh, this will help me get there.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, I do think it's important that you do know where that end goal is, so that you can spot those opportunities when they pop up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, that and just like kind of honing back to that unpredictability of life, like, uh I know for you as a parent, you don't know when something's gonna like you kind of have an idea with your child about when stuff, but you never know when the child pop up. You could be everything could be good and then
Mm.
my kids got the flu, like so
Yeah,
now I gotta 100% pivot everything I'm doing because first of all, I'm gonna get the flu. Like I'm gonna get it.
yeah. Let's just say that now, and
I'm
let's
gonna
prepare
get it.
ourselves mentally that
Yeah.
that's coming down the road.
But just like really like, okay, but how do I navigate like taking care of them, making sure they're taking their medicine, doing X, Y, and Z. So I could definitely see that. And then like so many aspects of that, but also just as an individual too. Like it is tough to like set your life up in a way like and unrealistic to set your life up where everything happens exactly as planned. Like, cause that
Mm-hmm.
like, first of all, you can't even get people don't understand how hard it is to get 4 homies to play a game at once.
Oh my
Like
God, yeah. Like nowadays,
yeah.
it is a damn miracle you get all your boys back on the game at once.
Yeah, because one of them is doing something adult like everybody like, yeah, I'm down. Yeah, what's up? Let's do it. Then one dude's like, I'm actually meeting with my to get my house refinanced. Like, what?
Yep, yep.
I can't do it, gang. Like, damn, man. All right. So just those aspects of like try to like plan out everything to a T is gonna really wear you out more than just setting that goal, seeking opportunities, and being prepared.
Yeah, being prepared is a really good call out. Like, be ready to accept the stuff that's going to help you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, so when you have days where you're like, man, fuck all this, I'm done. I quit. I'm tired of this shit. It's over. What motivates you to keep going?
The fact that I'm still here, I guess. like this stuff, like shit is gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so like you can either give up, in which case like nothing changes. Like, if like I'm a very
Mm-hmm.
proactive person. Like, a lot of guys are like this, and like women apparently hate it. But like I'm a problem solver. Like, if you present an issue to me, like I don't like being sad. I don't like being upset. I don't like being mad. So if
Mm-hmm.
something is out of order, my instinct is to try and fix it. Like, okay, like how
Yeah.
do we put this back the way it needs to be, so that no one is upset anymore, so that I'm not upset anymore. Right? Like I don't ever want to wallow, but like stuff will weigh on you. Like, stuff will happen that feels insurmountable. But like, I mean, it's okay to feel that in the moment and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
like, somehow, like I'm very lucky, I guess I can say, that has never led me to ever feel defeated.
Yeah.
Like, instead, it's just like, all right, well, I guess my my path to solving all these problems just got that much longer. Like with enough time, like I can get to the other side of whatever this is. So do whatever I need to do now. I guess do what I can do now, and then like just keep chipping away at whatever these issues are as best as I can. And again, same thing with like the goal setting. Like if something pops up on the way that like can actually help you or like solve this problem immediately when you thought that there was no way to see the other side or just a very long road to see the other side, seize it, like jump on it, be ready to like make the best of that situation.
Yeah.
So like that's where I'm at right now, honestly, because I just did taxes and they've not been kind to me. They have not been kind.
Oh yeah, it sounds like. Yeah, I definitely relate to that. You know, like of like trying to be proactive, trying to solve problems, trying to be that person that's like, all right, we got this. You know, let's knock it out. You know, yeah, my partner, she definitely is like, stop trying to solve a fucking problem. I'm just trying to talk to you.
Oh my god.
Like she got like.
I'm like, why do you talk to me? Like, why are you telling me anything? Because you know me. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Just stare at you in the face? Like, what? I feel so lost in those situations.
Yeah. I'd be like, sometimes I'd just be like, sometimes you just got to be like, wow, that's crazy. What? Damn. What you gonna do? Like,
right, like my brain is screaming at me. Like,
yeah. Yeah. So, but I like that you said that, like, you know, be prepared. Like, even at those low points, like, be prepared. Because it's unfortunate because a lot of the best opportunities come at your lowest points, which sucks. You know, sometimes like they'll come at the times where you're like drained of energy, or like you're like really not necessarily drained of like physical energy, but it could be physical, emotional, mental, like just, or times where you're just overloaded with stuff, or times where you're like X, Y, and Z and the opportunity to come up. And sometimes, you know, I mean, listen to yourself, of course. Like, I always want people to listen to yourself. So like if your body's like, no, we can't do it, dog, then don't do it.
Yeah, that's super important. Yeah.
Back off.
Like, don't, like, there's a lot of candle burning at both ends. Like, I'm super guilty of it myself. But from time to time, you do just need to be like, all right, I am doing a lot and I kind of need a break. And that'll help you. That'll help you just as much as doing all the shit that you're doing. Because if you overwork, like you're no use to anyone, at least of all yourself.
Yeah. How do you with that, like burning the wick at both ends? How do you find time to refill your cup? Like, what do you do to refill that cup?
I can't stress enough how lucky I am that, like, despite all of the like the setbacks and BS and situations that keep being thrown at me, like I've been able to like find and hang on to like people, like individuals who understand me and like want to aid me in that pursuit, and I them, you know what I mean? Like I have amazing friends. Like I mentioned earlier, like I grew up with some of my friends. Like I picked my high school based on like my friends. Like these are still some of my best friends to this day. Like they're dudes I can talk to. Like there was, as like I grew up with 4 brothers outside of my, like, but like I have 4 brothers, 2 older, 2 younger.
Yeah.
But I have friends who I also consider brothers. Like that's how close we are to each other. Like, and they are people I can hang out with. Like I'll get on the game. We'll go out to eat. Like if one of them, or if I am like really stressing, like I can vent to these dudes because they know me. Like, and sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you just need to like say what's going on with you to somebody else, somebody who gets you or understands you. On top of that, like when I'm home, like my fiance like is an amazing individual. Like she has such a big heart. She opened that heart up to me and my son. Because like I'm not with my son's mother. So, but just to clarify, the woman who I am marrying is not my son's mother. That's a different woman who is part of. Like I'm not gonna disparage her or nothing, but like it's part of some of my stress because of that scenario. But my fiance now has been so patient with all of that, with all of that drama and stress. Like she's been so open to bonding with my son, and like my son loves her to death. Yeah, and like I'm so lucky that that's a scenario that I wound up in, because like without her help, without her assistance in that sort of stuff, I would not be able to do anything that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I and my son wouldn't be as okay right now as we are, and she didn't have to do that. Like that was something she chose to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm super thankful for it. So like, I call it lucky. I also want to say like I consider myself a good person. Like I try to put out good into the world, how to treat others the way I want to be treated. And so in a small way, like I'm not super spiritual much, but like I think karma is a thing that does exist.
Yeah.
And like it's one of the main reasons why I would love for the energy, the positive energy that I put out to be visited back upon me in a similar way. Or if I do have positive energy, visited upon me, that I can take that and be like, all right, well, let me do something good for somebody else as well. Because like that's how I want the world to be. And like, and that sort of stuff, like that, just knowing that there are people who feel that way about me, who are willing to like sacrifice stuff for me, makes me want to sacrifice, etc., for them. And that's enough. Like that's enough to focus on that stuff so that I can get out of the headspace of like, oh, all of this over here is on fire. And like you put it, like in terms of refilling a cup, like that's all I need. Like I need those people, right? Like that's what helps.
Yeah, community goes a long way, and partnerships go a long way too. Yeah, partnerships do really like can make or break in a situation, because I know in a lot of ways she's probably challenged you too, in a way that you like had to look at things from a different perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And every relationship is gonna have those sorts of situations.
Yeah, and I always love that, like the challenging and different perspectives, and then you have them to be like, huh, okay, I didn't think of it that way. Let me go back into my back cave and brood about this. But
yeah, man.
But the community, yeah, man, it's always good to have a good group of folks. Like I personally like check in with. I got a few homies I check in with once a week. We always check in once a week, and it might not have been like in the beginning it was super consistent, and then as we got older, of course, life gets busier, but
yeah,
it still is a consistent check-in. Like we still checking in on each other, seeing how we doing, but that like helps with refilling that cup. And like nature, touching some fucking grass. Oh my god.
Yeah, like my fiance forces me to run around outside the house all the time. Otherwise, I would just be in here doing it. And like I love being in the house. Like I don't necessarily
Me too.
enjoy being in the sun and shit, but like she forces it. But because I'm with her, because I'm running around with my son and stuff, like that, yeah, I'm having a good time. Like this, I don't regret being out. Like we did a 5K this past Saturday because
that's what's up.
Yeah, and like it was a good time. Like I caught up to my son at the very end because I walked the whole thing. Like I'm not running out these streets. I walked the whole thing, but managed to catch up to my son near the very end because he was ahead of me. And so like me and him kind of like tried to sprint and beat each other to the finish line near the very end, and that was very funny. So like yeah, we had a great time. Like
yeah,
would just a thing I would not do if I didn't have those sorts of people around me.
Yeah, they break you out of that like. And they break that cycle in your brain. They're like,
yeah,
man, get your ass outside. Touch some grass, see the sun. You like,
absolutely.
I don't know. It's super sunny today. Like, yeah, I feel that too. Because it's easy to like those days to meld together. And I think that's the hardest thing about doing stuff, especially like if you're working from home and stuff. It's easy for those days to like feel like one big day. Because just the cycle and like especially and also
like that stuff works on a schedule, and so like you wake up, you go through that schedule, then you go to bed, you wake up, you go to bed. Like if you don't find a way to break that up, like it will, like no matter what you're doing, because I love my jobs, like I love what I do for work. That doesn't mean that it's always fun.
Yeah.
and so sometimes you do need a break from the not fun portions of that stuff.
Yeah, you do, because I don't get those people that's like all I do is work and that's it. I love it. It's like you ain't got no other life out of work, and they be like, no
hobbies, dog. Like
no work, baby. You be like, oh, I'm sorry, you need a hug, bro. Like, all right. So we're getting close to the end of the episode. Thank you so much, KC. You've been giving some good sound advice. And the last piece of advice I want you to give the folks is some words of affirmation. So what's some words that get you through the day? What's a mantra you like to yell out into the void, or quote to yourself to keep you going and raise your spirits? Raise your energy.
Like, I don't know, like people are capable. That sounds like real basic, but I want to explain that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of bad actors going on in the world, but I want people to realize that humanity is not all bad, right? Like even if it seems like it sometimes, like there are people out there who want to do good, people out there who are doing good, and there are people out there who do like stuff that you wouldn't imagine could be done, right? Like they can inspire others with their behavior and actions and whatnot. So like if anything, try to remember that like just because you're arguing with some jerk, some racist prick on the internet, whatever, that is not a reflection of humanity.
Yeah.
Like people are capable of all sorts of things. Like they are capable of the nastiness, yes, but think about the other things they're capable of. Think about like the good that they can put in the world. Think about the smiles they can put on other people's faces. Like focus on that. If you can tune out those negative aspects because they don't do anything for you, especially all the stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Like we gotta go back to square one and reteach everybody about internet trolls and how to just not feed them, because it seems like no one is taking that advice anymore. Like you got to leave that where it is and to just focus back up on the stuff you want to actually pay attention to, not the stuff that is triggering you to give it your energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if that made any sense, but
no, it did.
I'm gonna leave it with that.
Just definitely. Remember, the assholes are just a subset of a group of people. They're not the majority.
Yeah, that's silent. That loud minority. What do you call it?
Loud minority. Yeah.
Is that what? No, that sounds problematic.
That sounds racist.
Yeah.
Now that you think about it, that sounds racist.
Yeah, that's probably not the proper term, but
no, it's just like it's a subset. It's a subset of a community. It's not the entire community itself. And don't ever fuck them. They so weird. Yeah.
Fuck them. Don't even pay any mind.
Yeah. Oh man, Casey, thank you so much for coming on the episode again.
Yeah, anytime, bro.
Man. We gotta next time. Hopefully, I'll have a soundboard up. I can do some wacky noises like the radio. Not even like not podcast noises. The wacky ones, like whoop, 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 like those like type of shit.
Yeah, that's an entirely different show.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what show that is.
Yeah, I want wacky noises and then I want real shit. But no, man. Where can the people find you on the socials, and what can they where can they see you, man?
Yeah, you guys can find me pretty much everywhere that has handles at Sigma Gears 9. I work at Second Wind, so you can see me on videos. You can see videos that I edit. Like I do live streams there. I host stuff like Summer Game Fest is coming up over the weekend. I'll be with 2 other guys over there, basically live streaming the conferences, like giving commentary and whatnot over all of that. So come through, check that out.
Yeah.
I also work for Ubisoft as a community manager. I used to work for Rainbow Six Siege, but I'm now helping out with the Division 2. So I don't know, support Ubisoft. I guess.
Yeah.
I know that's not like people are really mad at Ubisoft all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about telling people to support Ubisoft, but like I work there. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, you got to remember the people. It's the people, y'all. It's the people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you see that
remember,
face?
People are capable. Remember,
yeah,
people
you see
are capable
Casey's
of more.
Face? He's Ubisoft, so don't just think it's just like a faceless corporation.
Look, I don't want to get in trouble for saying this, but there's a lot of people on the inside who feel y'all.
Yeah,
like, we understand what y'all are saying,
and
right. It's just that it's not up to us. Is all.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. All right. Last thing I gotta ask you: what's the over under that Jeff Keighley brings out Hideo Kojima?
I don't know how to do like sports math, whatever, but 100% is happening.
Okay.
Like there's not a doubt in my mind that Kojima's back on stage this year. Like he's got a couple of things, a couple of irons in the fire. Like he has stuff to show off. He's gonna show some stuff off.
Yeah,
100%.
Speaking of sports betting, we should have sports betting on gaming announcements. I feel like that'll make so much money.
We kind of do a bingo game when we do our live stream coverage.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, like so we try to predict like what things will show up, and it's not always like straight up game stuff. Sometimes it's dumb stuff like there'll be like a dog with no pants in a trailer or something. So it's a fun time, and the two losers have to like a coin toss between. We do a punishment stream afterwards where they have to play like the winner's choosing of like a really shitty, awful game.
Oh no!
So we just had our editor in chief who lost last time play through Rogue Warrior.
Oh
like
no!
That really bad EA shooter, I think.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Join us.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely I should, man. Mac McMuscles, he did like an have you ever heard of Mac McMuscles?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, I love him. Hopefully he ain't
like
problematic.
a streamer, content creator?
Yeah, content creator on YouTube. He does a lot of games of like looking into like the development of games, and that was one of the games he looked at. And the name used to be Rogue Warrior Black Razor.
That's too much name. You didn't need that much name.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
But yeah, man. All right, thank y'all again for listening to this episode. If you want to follow us and see what we got going on, Blacspiration on Twitter, Blacspiration on Twitch, Blacspiration Pod on Instagram. Thank y'all again so much for listening to this episode. Be happy, drink some water, keep gaming, and I hope you left this episode feeling inspired. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.